Ponniyin Selvan 1 is the slowest of slow burns. The film is the first in a 2-part series based on a 5-volume novel written by Kalki. Now, this novel was released 67 years ago, but it continues to be a bestseller and it is considered among the greatest in Tamil literature. Kalki combined Chola history with fiction to create this page-turner filled with outsized characters, palace intrigue, betrayal, love, war, and heartache, which is why the book has generations of passionate fans. Director Mani Ratnam, along with writers Kumaravel and Jeyamohan, reworked the material into 2 films, which have to please the legions of lovers of the book. But the films also have to seduce newbies like me who hadn't heard of Ponniyin Selvan until the film was announced. It's a Herculean task, and the film, at least the Hindi dubbed version which I watched, only partially succeeds at it.
रणबीर के शंभू नारायण के महल में कुछ अनिष्ट होने की सूचना मिली है। तुम वहां जाकर पता लगाओ क्या हो रहा है। जो भी हो, मैं सिंहासन छोड़ने वाला नहीं हूं।
The story of warring kings and chieftains is told through the eyes of Vandiyathevan, the playful, flirtatious friend of the prince. Vandiyathevan is a soldier, spy, traveler, and courier of messages and tales. We discover most of the other characters through him. And there are several. Aditya Karigalan, the elder prince who's numbing his pain in endless bloodshed and war. Arulmozhi, the younger prince who's fighting in Lanka. Their sister Kundabai, who is politically astute and highly capable of running the kingdom, but is restricted by her gender. Nandini, the wife of a key chieftain who is plotting her own revenge. Sundar Chola, the ailing king, who at one point rebukes his queen saying his body is infirm, not his mind. And this is only the half of it. Even post-interval, new characters are being introduced. The plot keeps moving from one location to another. In fact, the story is so dense that the screenplay barely has any time to build characters or marinate in emotion or create momentum. The narrative flattens out into one twist after another. And there are so many factions jostling in this Game of Thrones that it becomes hard to keep track and consequently to stay invested. But it's also impossible to look away. For one, there is the sheer beauty on display. Aishwarya Rai Bachchan weaponizes her exquisite face with aplomb. There is this scene in which she manipulates her much older husband by asking him to unclasp her necklace as she gives him key strategic advice. It's seductive and Machiavellian. The other female actors, Trisha, Sobhita Dhulipala, Aishwarya Lekshmi are also stunning. When the story got dull, I simply focused on the jewelry and costumes by Eka Lakhani. The men also dazzle. Vikram, Karthi and Jayam Ravi bring a truckload of regal charm to their characters. Karthi, as Vandiyathevan, is a great mix of mischief and bravery. And Vikram is superb as the tortured prince who's permanently scarred by the loss of love. At one point, he tells another character, तुमने मुझे उससे अलग करके मुझे एक दरिंदा बना दिया. This sequence, in which we hear Aditya's backstory, is the film's most visceral moment. Mani Ratnam punctures the power and strength of this man by showing us what fuels it. There is drama, high emotion, and haunting tragedy. But we don't get enough moments like this, which forces you to focus on the parts rather than the whole. Like Ravi Varman's constantly moving camera, which inserts us into the scene. Or Shrikar Prasad's frenetic editing, which works overtime to build tension. Or Tota Tarani's set design, which is grandiose but never loud. And of course, A.R. Rahman's pulsating score. This dream team of artists helped to breathe life into the most static scenes. Despite the fault lines, PS1 doesn't come off as a stately costume drama about people who lived 1,000 years ago. It feels contemporary. The narrative gains momentum by the last hour as the story comes to a crescendo, which also functions as a cliffhanger. Part 1 never quite became the soaring, rousing saga that I was hoping for. It worked more like a setting up of a world and its characters, but there is enough here to whet the appetite. Will I watch part 2? Absolutely.